Mario Kart World is the launch title for the Switch 2 and is the first new Mario Kart game in 10 years or something. Mario Kart 8 was out for a long time, so it's been a long time between drinks, and they've decided to go where all games that have been out for a long time go open world. This is now a game that touts that it has an open world mode and allows you to do all the usual things you do in Mario Kart, which is cup racing, versus racing, and you've got all the cast of characters, but you've now got 24 races on every track, doubling the original 12. That's one of the biggest features. And the other one, as I mentioned, is an interconnected world where all the tracks from the game, and I don't know the actual total, but they are all interconnected in a way that creates a giant Mario Kart open world. Now, this is interesting because that means that you have these interesting, cool Nintendo biomes that are all sitting adjacent and next to each other and are kind of trying to blend into one another, but a lot of it just turns into, that's just, you go from Snowland to Desert Land to Greenland, and to red, white, and blue land, or whatever. America. And so I think they do an amicable job of creating this giant hub world, but it is fragments of racetracks. It doesn't feel like you ever get a sense of how to navigate this world outside of just identifying, oh, I'm in this track. Does that make sense? It's like, it doesn't feel like you're in open areas in between those tracks. And those areas that are open are pretty bland. This is going to sound negative, but this game is fantastic. This game is great. However, what I think is really interesting is that the open world feels like the thing that came last.
Is this the open world?
No, this is what I'm doing right now is the knockout.
Yeah, cool.
The knockout racing is 4 to 6 tracks, one after another. We're going to play it later on today. One after another with no breaks in between. And you race with 24 races, and the last 4 after every track get eliminated until I believe it's the last 4 to 8 go through for the finish. And it's a really, really cool mode. I think it's going to be the system seller, or like the seller for this new title, because it takes Mario Kart into a place of like gritty 12-minute races where you are, at least in the 150cc, you are genuinely like, I've got to keep going. I've got to race well, not just hope that items land that are helpful. It's less chaotic and it is a little more about the racing. A huge part of the 24 races is that the tracks are quite wide now. They are actually these sort of big freeways versus some of the more narrow tracks in the earlier one. And again, what I think is interesting is that the byproduct of all of this is this open world. Because I think the knockout mode is great. The regular GP lets you drive in between every cup race you do as a little mini race. So you do a track and then you do some open world racing and a track. There's stop downs in between. What I'm getting at is the free roaming, is the thing that I was really excited about this game. And they sort of touted as this is the new thing you get to do here. I think is probably the least interesting part about this game. And it's not a huge surprise when you think about it. It's like, what is there to do as I drive around in this world? And they've populated it with collectibles. They've populated it with mini challenges. There's a photo mode. I imagine you can do this online, I think, or you can drive around with some buddies. And that's fun. There's costumes to collect. But it's pretty skint. There's not a huge amount to do. It almost just feels like a fun sort of pass the time activity when you're just a bit tired of races. It doesn't feel like the selling point of this game, the thing you really want to do.
I honestly think that the free roam is going to be most exciting when you've got friends to do it with.
I think it's friends, or I think it's like slap on a podcast and just zone out and drive around and just enjoy it, because there's not really too much direction. There's not too much incentive to go, you now need to go and do this, 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 and this, which I think kind of would have been fun here to be like, look at a big list of goals.
Forza Horizon it.
Yeah.
I will say as well, considering it's free, and like you can free roam through like full on actual tracks. And I think where that comes in is it's going to give people the opportunity to kind of more deeply explore those tracks and then find shortcuts. And I think that's what it's going to probably be used for as well.
No, look, you're totally right. I just don't think it's like as compelling as other free roam maps are in other games. I guess that's the way to put it.
Because you could have just launched a practice map of the same track in
I
any
think-
other Mario Kart and done
correct.
a million laps and done the same thing.
Yeah, it's not to say it's not fun, and I think it's really, it's a cool thing to add. It just feels like when they came up with the Knockout Tour, and they said, well, for that to work, we need to interconnect all the tracks, and for that to work, we have to create a big world. Once they were done with all of that, they were like, what if we just let you drive around in it too? That kind of feels, and I'm speculating there, but that feels like how the conversation went, rather than, let's make an awesome open world Mario Kart game that you also race in.
I will
Okay,
say,
counterpoint.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Do you want to counterpoint first, or can I counterpoint?
I'll counterpoint by saying a driving game doesn't need an open world. Frankly,
100%.
An open world and driving game, kind of pointless. So
that's why it feels a bit like this.
Unless you're Forza Horizon.
Unless it's Forza, but even then, like, still, like, you don't really
that's the
need an
vibe.
open world in a driving game. That's just my opinion.
Peter,
Like,
you had a counterpoint.
what's your counterpoint?
My counterpoint is that this is a. Let's assume you don't care about this, but
So
you
you're
want to
Peter.
you want to play Mario Kart.
Yep.
Sorry, don't care about this open world mode.
Yes.
But you want to play Mario Kart. This is a free, sick thing to have in your Mario Kart game.
And it very much
Like, I can
is-
imagine people spending heaps of fucking time just hanging out with mates, driving around, doing this stuff.
Totally.
Just like, absolutely, I love it. And particularly if I was a kid, I would spend
That's
so
my thing.
much time doing
Yeah, I
this.
agree
I
entirely.
would just be driving
Kids
around in
would lose
circles
themselves
all
in this,
day.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
look, and even the way it is kind of hidden, when you boot the game up, you see right in the bottom right corner, it's like press the minus button for
Can
free
you fly
roam.
around the whole map?
You fly now.
Oh, and sorry, not only do you fly now, you can grind. It's sick. You can grind. That's never
baller.
been in a game before. You can fucking grind on stuff.
it's
Look
never.
how cool.
The grinding and the wall riding there's a rewind function too.
Oh, it's Forza!
It is. Look, the grinding and the wall riding is cool.
They grind now.
It's not like it's not really shown off to you when you start the game, and so I found it like
Really? Oh, like shown how to do
yeah,
it.
it just felt like something I was like, oh,
I think that's
what
what
is
I kind
this?
of loved about it though, is that like it's really
bit, brother, man.
focusing.
That's the end of the footage.
It's
Restart a
focusing
bit.
a little more on precision driving.
Yes,
and
it
you
totally
have
is.
to, like, if you want to be able to grind, which makes you go faster, you've really got to be super specific with how you're driving, and I think that's really neat.
It is. It is.
And I'm
you're
a
right,
bad
It is
driver.
more. It feels more like it is about the driving now. The wider roads, the more competitors, the length of the races. You have a little more time to yourself to go. Okay, how am I going to get past this person in front of me? I might need to look for where I can grind on a rail to get extra boost to beat them. You usually don't have time to think in the previous Mario Karts.
Yeah.
They are literally just like chaotic item fest. You think you're dead.
Yeah.
To finish my point about the open world thing, I totally agree. It is almost the way it's like, it's not even sold as the main feature. I think just myself and a lot of other people, when it was announced this way, and this is on us, got really excited for it as the mainline feature. I was really surprised when I booted
To be
this
fair,
up.
it is called World.
It
The
is
game's
called
called Mario Kart
Kart
It is.
World.
And when it boots up, it just boots up to the menu, and it took me a while to find the free roam. And again, this
It
is
should have thrown
expectation.
you in. Yeah.
It
But your expectation is set by the fact the game is called Mario
Mario
Kart
Kart
World.
I just thought it might open on that and kind of go like, do you know what it doesn't have? It doesn't have a Hyrule Field moment. It doesn't have now you're racing and now, well, it's literally, or
Like
a Breath,
and the letterbox bars.
a
open
Breath
up.
of the
Yeah,
Wild
yeah.
moment. It doesn't
Yeah.
have that moment where it goes, you just had a race, now here's the world. It took me 2 races to go, where the fuck is the free roam? And I was like, oh, it's back here. And I press it and they just go from the main menu into your car and it's like, go for it. And I was like, there's nothing here though. And it's like,
Cool
we'll go
transition,
find
though.
something. So look, I maybe the less hand holding is a nice thing, but I just thought there could have been a bit more pomp and ceremony about this feature.
Does your hand feel cold?
My hand feels cold.
Okay.
But in hindsight, I think it just feels like this was something they go, hey, this is a byproduct of how we've created these multiple tracks. And that is actually the best part about it. And we'll see more of it later on when we're going to have a play. And that's the thing that's going to keep me engaged in this, is those knockout giant marathon tracks.
I like that there's no more of the hover shit. I hated that.
Me too.
Hovership sucks.
I
hated
did hate
the
that too.
hover mode, yeah.
This looks gorgeous.
It
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
beautiful.
it's so pretty.
All these maps
Okay.
are good. All these
Okay.
maps, the snow.
Counterpoint.
Counterpoint.
It looks ugly.
Counterpoint. We booted up Mario Kart 8 on my previous Switch and played it. Mackenzie, Will, and I played it side by side while Will sat behind, just looking back and forth. And he's like, I kind of think the 8 on 8 looks better. There's definitely a...
Will said that?
there's definitely, in handheld mode at least, there's definitely something quite vibrant and
Will doesn't
poppy
know
about
anything.
this that feels a bit more Mario Odyssey than Mario Kart 8 has like sort of these-
Gritty.
It's great. Everything has like a sort of rubberized texture, and the lighting was slightly better in 8. However, the amount that's on show here, the size of the world, and the effects when they're all put together, you're right. It is a really, really pretty game, and it's a Nintendo game. It's like, gosh, the colors just leap out all the time. But I think if you did look at a side by side, you go, it's Nintendo graphics. They can only push this thing so far.
It's a
until
big deal, and it's not a new moniker like World. That is Super Mario World, you know, Yoshi's World. Like they've used it a lot.
Yeah. True.
To mean like it's another level. This is something different.
It's the next one.
So yeah.
Well, I mean,
I-
this thing's going to be supported for the life of this console, probably. I
And
doubt
the
it.
next, the way. Well, the
Who
Mario
knows,
Kart
maybe-
8 came out on Wii U.
Yeah, true.
Maybe they'll Fortnite this and start changing the map up.
3DS. It came out on 3DS.
It came out on the Wii U first.
I'm pretty sure it was 3DS first.
I'm pretty sure.
No,
it was-
3DS was 7.
Yeah.
Wii U
It came
was
out in
Mario
But to
2014.
Josh's point, that's
Oh, Adele.
her.
Me
Adele said
wrong.
something.
Now
Adele's
you're muted.
Adele's muted.
'Cause it
Well,
was-
sorry.
it was Ma-
Came out on 2014.
yeah, Mario
2014,
Kart
yeah.
Wii.
14.
Got it,
That's
got
11
it.
years ago.
Mario Kart Wii.
11 years. Josh's point, yeah. Like if they could now just add a new map, new island, and just be like, cool.
Or new parts of it. Like there's so
Yeah.
much Nintendo IP that they can throw in there, like Fortnite does.
Totally. And creating an open
There's
world.
a dolphin in it. They could put anything in this shit.
There's a
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
cow in this
Let's
one.
leave on that. The character roster is insane. They even lock some of the mainstay characters at the beginning. So like Donkey Kong is locked, but there's a crab called Sideways Guy. There's a dolphin. There's every enemy that's been in Mario games, and they feel really weird. And I love that they're there. Like, and you would too, Ruby. I'm sure
Full clarification, you can play the cow from the beginning.
you can play the cow
Really?
Yes.
and the crab.
That's big. That's
I'll be
big.
playing the crab this evening.
Oh.
I'll
can
be,
look
I'll
forward
be,
to
I'll be
that.
cowing.